all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria.
Impressionable minds. Z-Tin for high-tech precision engineering. A technology and heavy-duty industry. Original spares for automotive, locomotive, aviation, marine, and agriculture. Research and development for automotive engines and electric cars. Heavy-duty off-road equipment. Reverse engineering. Technological development. Academy for innovators and impressionable minds.
Good morning. You're watching Naija Live TV, and this is a newspaper review. My name is Barbie Mparu. Let's quickly look at the Nation paper today, Thursday, the 5th of March, 2026. So on the Nation paper, we see that CBN opens foreign reserves in gold with $3.5 billion this morning. That is massive. You can watch that, you can read through that news on page 7 of the Nation papers this morning. Again, we have the 12 states domesticate federal tax laws. Page 7, it is available on page 7. You can read through the story on page 7 this morning. Federal government freezes establishment of private universities for 6 good months. That's also an interesting news that you can read this morning on page 3 of the Nation paper. The President Tinubu suspends cashless policy at airport toll gates. Also, the news is available on page 4 of the Nation paper this morning. Adamawa State Governor has said that Adamawa State will give Tinubu 85% votes. He is saying that no other party will be able to get up to 25%. That is the governor that just joined the All Progressive Congress recently. So this is his statement. Quite an interesting one on there. So many persons are already assuring the President Tinubu that his second tenure is going to be a success. Let's all watch and see how things unfold. President's initiative on electricity transmission gets FEC nod. That is to say that the FEC has approved and applauded the President's initiative on electricity transmission. Quite an interesting one. In Osun State, we see that Oshogbo residents protest over the poor power supply in Oshogbo. That's quite an interesting one as well. 8-man panel gets 4-week mandate. Police chief warns against misconduct. So many stories, and you can read that through on page 2 of the Nation paper this morning. So many stories, so do yourself well to get the Nation paper this morning so that you can get more of this news in detail. To the next newspaper we will be reviewing this morning, the Vanguard paper. Why I'm keeping quiet. El-Rufai tells ICPC why he is keeping quiet, so you can read through the news on page 9 of the Vanguard papers this morning. Alleged terror financing, AGF takes over Malami trial to review DSS case file. And this is the one that has been going on where the Malami and his son have been accused of financing terrorism. So it's an interesting story, and you should read through that on page 9 of the Vanguard paper this morning. Tinubu proposes grid asset management firm to fix power sector. Quite an impressive one from the president. We hope all goes well. So more of that news, the news in detail, is available on page 8 of the Vanguard paper this Thursday, March 5th. Middle East war. Spanish Prime Minister takes on Trump after threat to cut trade ties. Ooh. An interesting news. They're available on page 8. Still on page 8, we see that 87 killed as U.S. ship Iran's sink headed back from India after naval exercise. So 87 persons have sadly lost their lives as the U.S. sinks Iran ship headed back from India after naval exercise. This war keeps getting more tragic by the day as people tend to lose their lives in the process. We pray peace be still. Still on page 8 of the Vanguard paper, we see that U.S. Embassy cancels visa appointments. Sad one for persons who would want to visit the U.S. anytime soon. Still on the Vanguard paper, Nigeria's money supply drops slightly to 123 trillion naira. That's some economic problems there going on. In page 20 of the Vanguard paper, you should do yourself well to check out the news and read through the details of the story and other stories. On page 21, still on the Vanguard, we have that parents move their children from private schools to public schools as a result of economic hardship. That story is also available on page 21 as Nigerian parents have had to change schools for their kids, their words, from private schools to public schools. On page 26 of the Vanguard paper, party crisis distracting us, fueling apathy. So INEC is saying that the crises that have been emerging from different political parties have happened to create and encourage political apathy. So INEC is crying out that the whole political crisis and everything should stop or at least reduce so as to discourage Nigerians from agreeing to political apathy. So an interesting story from INEC on Vanguard newspaper this morning, page 26. You can read through. Okay, 89th birthday of President, or the former president rather, Obasanjo. He says, my prison years were for my principles. So happy birthday to the former president of Nigeria, Obasanjo. So you can read through that news on page 15 of the Vanguard papers this morning. FEC approves demolition of Qatar Bridge. I believe they are demolishing it to arise a more standard structure. Let's see how it all unfolds. You can read through on page 15 of the Vanguard paper this morning. Over to the Punch. Let's look at news stories from the Punch paper. Obasanjo says, "I won't die anytime soon." He declares at age 89, and amen. We hope for a long life and of course prosperity. He has that. So you can read that on the Punch paper, page 14, where the former president declares at his 89th birthday that he would not die anytime soon. Still on page 14 on the Punch paper, we could see that the federal government approves 1.2 trillion naira for the Ibadan Ilesa Road and others. So the federal government has approved trillions of naira for the Ibadan Ilesa Road and other projects. So read through that on the Punch paper, page 14, this Thursday morning. On page 23 of the Punch, Tinubu holds cashless airport toll over gridlock chaos. Interesting story there that you should read for knowledge, of course, and stay informed. On page 22 of the Punch paper, the Zamfara governor weighs defection as INEC deadline looms. Politics. So that is that on the news available on page 22. You can go read the details of that and other stories on the Punch paper this Thursday morning. State Police, IG sets up panel to propose framework. That story is available on page 2 of the Punch paper, where the new police chief insists, we also see that a new police chief insists force not threatened, orders intelligence over Middle East tensions. So let's see how it all unfolds. Again, on the Punch paper, we see on the front page that Lagos persecutes 4,000 residents for illegal waste dumping. In Lagos State, 4,000 residents have been persecuted for illegal waste dumping. You can read more of that story on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch paper. All right, still on the Malami and Sons trial, alleged terrorism. IGF takes over Malami and his son's trial. The story is available on page 22 of the Punch paper this morning. Let's go over to the Daily Trust newspaper. So FG places 6-year moratorium on establishment of tertiary institutions. You can read that story on page 5 of the Daily Trust papers this Thursday morning. Nigeria's World Cup hopes dashed as FIFA upholds the Republic of Congo's sport. So sad one, as Nigeria's hope to be part of the World Cup have been sports, sadly. So moving on, so you can read on that sports story on page 30 of the Daily Trust paper this Thursday morning, 5th March. State police framework begins. So still on the state police framework begins. So you can read that story on pages 3 and 4 of the Daily Trust papers this morning. Also on the Daily Trust, we see that President Tinubu suspends cashless policy at airport toll gates. So the story is reoccurring, so you should read it on page 19 of the Daily Trust paper this morning. We have again, despite completing terminals without buses, FCTA to build more. FCTA to build more terminals. Yeah, so you could read that on page 16 of the Daily Trust paper. On Christian genocide, Murik takes Amuputan to National Assembly. That news is also available on the Daily Trust this morning. And here is a tragic and confusing story on page 17 of the Daily Trust. Says man allegedly kills his brother for shooting him in dream. So oof, a sad one for the family. The story is saying that a man, I think this happened in Oyo State. Yeah, a man have sadly killed his own brother due to a dream that he had of that same brother killing him, trying to unalive him. So you can read details of that story on page 17 of the Daily Trust paper this morning. All right, moving on, let's check out the Daily Sun. Tinubu orders suspension of airports cashless policy amid gridlock, available on page 23 of the Daily Sun. We have again, INEC begins review of political party guidelines. INEC begins review of political parties guidelines. Read that news on page 6 and 26. Okay, yes, page 6 and 26. So still under that, you have we have vows. The INEC vows to enforce credible party primaries. We are counting on INEC, and they are also letting us know that most definitely they will enforce credible party primaries. Integrity, transparency of electoral processes paramount to fostering public trust. This is a statement by Amuputan. He is saying that most definitely INEC will uphold integrity, transparency of the entire electoral process, which is paramount to fostering public trust. So you should read that story. AMAC chairman, others gets certificate of return. So these stories are available on page 6 and page 26 of the Daily Sun this morning. Again, we see a photo on the Daily Sun where the President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is congratulating the Inspector General of Police Tunji Disu after his swearing in in Abuja yesterday. So an interesting one. Congratulations to the IG. So we still have more stories on the Daily Sun paper. Insecurity, Kogi LG imposes indefinite docks to dawn curfew. So the in Kogi there is now an indefinite docks to dawn curfew going on. So you can read details of that story on page 5 of the Daily Sun. Electricity workers set to go on strike as 21 days ultimatum expires. They accuse Discourse Gencos of anti-harbor activities. Check that out on page 23 of the Daily Sun this Thursday morning. Again, on the Daily Sun, we can see that Tinubu swears in IGP Disu, administers oaths on RMAFC, FCSC commissioners. So the IG inaugurates 8-man committee on implementation of state police. So check out that story, details of that story on page 4 and also page 26 of the Daily Sun paper. Reps query customs, NPA, others over pre-shipment inspection. That is an interesting story that you should check out on page 6 of the Daily Sun this morning. Moving on to this day, let's look through this day paper. CBN boosts foreign reserves with indigenous gold as holdings hit $3.5 billion. Quite an interesting one. Read through on page 10. Read that story on page 10. We have also that Tinubu Jonathan rejoiced with former President Obasanjo at 89 at his birthday, at his 89th birthday. That story is available on page 33 on this day newspaper. Disu sworn in as 23rd IGP. He declares state police has now come to stay. So still on the IG, yeah, he has stated that the state police has come, not just to come, but also to stay. So again, still on this day, we see that security forces locked down Abuja amid escalating U.S.-Israel-Iran war. Sad one right there. So the security forces locked down Abuja amid escalating U.S.-Israel-Iran war. So still on this day paper, we can see that the U.S. Embassy cancels visa appointments in FCT. So in the FCT, the U.S. Embassy has cancelled all flights, all visa appointments. Pathetic. So Iran defers Khamenei's farewell. Israel threatens to kill successor. A whole lot of stories been making the rounds, particularly in regards to this war, this Middle East crisis. So Iran defers Khamenei's farewell as Israel threatens to kill successor. So more stories on this day paper. We have that Goldman sees oil price at $100 per barrel. A whole lot of economic crisis are beginning to unfold. So Islamic body cautions against friction is also a story that is available on the paper. Iran reports 1,045 deaths. Tragic one there. So mastermind of assassination plot against Trump has been killed. Sad one there. So you can read through all the stories on page 10 of this day paper. Moving on, let's look at the Daily Independent paper. State police now inevitable. We are not afraid, says IGP Disu. As he inaugurates State Police Implementation Committee as well. So, and on page 7 of Daily Independent, we see that the federal government, FG, to demolish Qatar Bridge, rebuild it with over 5 billion naira. That story is available on page 7 of the Daily Independent paper. Chief Imams warn Nigerians against protesting over Mid East crisis. Available on page 6. You can check the details of that story on page 6. NERC tightens rules to curb electricity theft, which is the meter bypass. That story, details of that story is available on page 6 of the Daily Independent paper this Thursday morning. Palm oil industry in crisis as prices crash, smuggling surges. That's a story available on page 29 of the Daily Independent paper this morning. Still on that matter concerning the president's suspension on cashless toll policy at Nigeria's airport, right? So you can read that story as well on page 7. On economy, we see that CBN boasts reserve with 3.5 billion naira domestic gold purchase. You can read through that story on page 7 of the Daily Independent paper this morning. Let's go over to the Nigerian Tribune newspaper this Thursday morning. On the Nigerian Tribune, we see that IGP Disu gets set for state police. Story available on page 4 of the Nigerian Tribune paper. The IGP inaugurates 8-man committee on implementation. Right. And we see also that President Tinubu swears him in, and lawyers set agenda for the police chief. Also on the Nigerian Tribune, we see that Tinubu directs halt to airport cashless policy. Available news on page 18 of the Nigerian Tribune. Again, there's something on health. Study says that aloe vera may help malaria treatment work best with standard malaria drug. So aloe vera will help or may help malaria treatment, and it can also work best with standard malaria drug. Read through that on page 12 for details. Okay, on page 11 of the Nigerian Tribune, we still have that tragic, confusing story that occurred in Oyo State, where a 43-year-old man kills his brother for shooting him in his dream. And there's also the one of the federal government the FG approves Qatar Bridge demolition and reconstruction of Ibadan, Ife-Elisa Road, and others. Available news on page 17 of the Nigerian Tribune. So we also see on the Nigerian Tribune where the FG imposes 6-year ban on private varsities. Available news on page 11. Read through that story to get details of it. So it revives adult literacy. Okay, adult literacy rather. Approves insurance cover for 180 federal unity schools. That's the story. And still on Nigerian Tribune, we see alleged terrorism. AGF takes over Malami's trial. available news on page 19 of the Nigerian Tribune. Guardian paper this morning. Let's check the news making the rounds on the Guardian paper. State Police Committee resumes amid framework abuse concerns. You can read through that story. Reps query customs, CBN, NPA in pre-shipment non-remittance role. That news is available on page 7 of the Guardian paper this 5th of March, Thursday morning. The Middle East crisis. On the Middle East crisis, we see that force majeure declaration spikes global LNG price. That news is available on page 3 of the Guardian paper. Still, how the Middle East crisis is affecting the countries around it, including Nigeria, of which Nigeria is beginning to suffer economic downplay. So, news available on page 3. So let's check out on still on the Guardian. El-Rufai keeps mute in custody, protests political persecution. So the you can read that on page 30, right, where El-Rufai is still quiet as he is in custody, and there's protests concerning political persecution. Read that story on page 30 of the Guardian this Thursday morning. U.S. Embassy cancels visa appointment over Abuja protest scare. You can read that story on page 30 of the Guardian paper. On page 8, we see that Electoral Act, INEC insists on compliance as opposition jitters over mandatory e-register. Read through that story on page 8 of the Guardian paper this Thursday morning. Court begins trial of Malami and his son over terrorism financing on March 10. So on March 10, the Malami and his son will be on trial, right? So check out that story on news on the news page 30. Go through that on the Guardian paper. LUTH partners begin first immunotherapy trial for colorectal cancer. You can read through that story. That's on health. You can read through that story on page 5 of the Guardian paper. Still on page 5, Obasanjo warns against personalized power. He urges institutional stewardship. Read through that on page 5 of the Guardian paper this Thursday morning. Let's go over to the leadership papers. Let's see what the leadership paper has for us this Thursday morning. Tinubu proposes grid asset company to fix power sector. That story have also uncle tells Kurt how niece's body was found in killer boyfriend's apartment. Right, so an uncle has come to tell the court how his niece's body was found in her boyfriend's his niece's lifeless body was found in the boyfriend's apartment. Read through that news on page 7 of the leadership paper. NRC targets Zamfara Rail service revival, unveils vision to modernize network. That's welcome development that you should read on page 27 for details of the story, of course. So security beefed up in Abuja as U.S. warns of possible pro-Iran protest. read through that story still concerning the Middle East crisis. Read through that story on page 18 of the leadership paper this morning. And cooking gas prices rise as petrol hike bites harder. Quite a sad one there. Read through the news on page 26 of the leadership paper. Story that you could read through on page 4 of the leadership paper this Thursday morning. Over to the blueprint. Let's see what the blueprint has in store for us. INEC to political parties. Leadership tussles, unnecessary litigations, threat to democracy. That's a statement from the from INEC to political parties. You can read through on page 8 of the blueprint paper this Thursday morning. Zenith Bank's capital base picks Umeji drives 92% share appreciation. Quite a story that you should check out on page 8 of the blueprint paper this Thursday morning. Okay, we can see a photo of the president and the IG. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu congratulating the newly appointed Inspector General of Police Olatunji Disu after being sworn in at the presidential Villa Abuja on Wednesday. So, and IGP Disu is also taking the oath of office. So the photo was taken at the State House in Abuja. Right. So you should check out that story on the blueprint paper this Thursday morning. Adams Oshomole, Senator Oshomole says no politician will go to hell for political sins. That is a statement by the former governor of Edo State and current senator. Right, so Senator Oshomole is saying that no politician will go to hell for political sins. That's quite a statement. Arguable also, but then you should check out that story for details on page 15 of the blueprint paper this Thursday morning. FIFA dashes Nigeria's World Cup dream, okays the Republic of Congo. So check out that story on page 32 of the blueprint paper this Thursday morning. All right, let's move on to the business day. How Tinubu's cabinet reshuffle reached the White House before his minister did. Read through that story, read through details of that story on page 30 on the business day paper this Thursday morning. New industrial plan needs litigation to spark boom. You should check out that story on page 30 of the business day paper, the business day newspaper this Thursday. So on page 30 also, we see that budget defense exposes deep funding crisis across MDAs inside Nigeria's 6 billion naira freight market where local investors are missing. So you should read through details or get details of that story on page 30 of the business day this morning. And there's one here that it says Egypt's private sector activity weakest in Africa for February 2026. And according to the chart available here, we see that the Nigeria is on second position. We have 53.2 in ratings, and Uganda is the highest, 54.2. So, and Egypt's private sector activity is the weakest in Africa as of February 2026. So, interesting stories that you should check out on the Business Day newspaper this Thursday morning. Let's go over to the world of sports. Let's see the sport matrix, or the matrix sport rather. So, 2026 FIBA World Cup qualifiers. Yeah, so the Tigers is to face Germany, France, and others. So we hope for the best, and we believe them to deliver for us. So the Tigers is to face Germany, France, and others. Another story we see here is that 2026 World Cup, FIFA ends Super Eagles' hopes and confirms Democratic Republic of Congo's place. Right. So sad one for the Super Eagles. Let's look through the EPL. On EPL, Arsenal edge Brighton to go 7 points clear. Man United suffer first defeat under Carrick. So that's the story, and you can check more on the Matrix Sports this Thursday morning. And to Sporting Sun, we see news like a PSG tempts Osimhen with 120 million euros offer. So that is quite tempting, as rightly said. It's a tempting one. PSG is trying to tempt Victor Osimhen, but then let's see how it all unfolds. Again, we have Lewandowski trains with mask. Ooh, you should check out that story. And Inter ready 70 million euro bid for Nico Paz. You can also look through all of those stories as available on Sporting Sun this Thursday morning. Also, there's one here about FIFA rejects NFF's appeal, confirms Democratic Republic of Congo as they celebrate Finidi's US 94 goal against Greece. So those are some quite interesting stories you should check out on Sporting Sun. And that has been the newspaper review this hour, as it had reached you from Naija Live TV. And my name is Barbie Umparu. Do have an amazing day. Good morning.
One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria. One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria. One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria.
Jawanda Dimie, alongside Lisbeck and Eminem.
That's LC on the beats.
Jawanda the song singer.
Ah yeah 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 yeah. Ah yeah 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 yeah. Ah yeah 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 yeah. Tamara si say yo, make I no beg man before I chop. Tamara si say yo, make I no go before the money come. Tamara si say yo, make I no beg man before I chop. Tamara si say yo, make I no go before the money come. Yeah, Tamara si say, as I dey find daily bread. Tamara si say, as I dey pray, make the money from. Tamara si say, yeah, Tamara si say.
Lisbeck and Eminem. Ukutoka kema kama bema breka domene. Ekema pada bakre kama sisa bebene mene. Izuku yiri yabo dolo dolo dimi yebo takbo me bolade yo me pakare like fini. Yeah, you know say man they work hard, you know say man go flex. You know say yeah they sing song, I don't supposed to blow. Not only you feel break chains, not only you the bless. So Jesus go with me, I cannot go alone. Akbo ma can make up, but domini yebo know the finish. Sing up picking for us, see the billing know the finish. So I feel my call picking, but I know they get the feelings. When the bag go drop, now that one man is busy. Jah do your wonders. I don't try my best, I leave the rest for your altar. Bless me, better than my sorrow to laughter. I didn't call it picky, yeah, but my battery go run down. Yeah.
Tamara si say yo, make I no beg man before I chop. Tamara si say yo, make I no go before the money come. Tamara si say yo, make I no beg man before I chop. Tamara si say yo, make I no go before the money come. Yeah, Tamara si say, as I dey find daily bread. Tamara si say, as I dey pray, make the money from. Tamara si say, yeah, Tamara si say.
enter many offices. All I got was plenty empty promises. So I start to read my Bible from the Genesis, because I know say God now the keeper of promises. Father save me from them evil nemesis. Now for them I come to steal people's property. Take a look at them, you see hate and jealousy. That's why them I wish we in a abject poverty. Me never know some pretty people, them my enemy. But boy you are good at what them still keep telling me. Stepping at the place and the people them are calling me. I wonder the me and Liz Beck and Eminem. Okay, now I see say you. For my water say yes, so come on. Tamara say yo, for my water yes, so come on.
Tamara say yo, make I no beg man before I chop. Tamara say yo, make I no go before the money come. Tamara say yo, make I no beg man before I chop. Tamara say yo, make I no go before the money come. Oh no, yeah. Tamara say, as I dey find daily bread. Tamara say, as I dey pray, make the money. Tamara say, yeah. Tamara say.
On the beats.
Jawanda di me alongside Liz Beck and Eminem.
Chelsea on the beats.
Jawanda di song singer.
Ah yeah 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 yeah. Ah yeah 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 yeah.
Naija Delta ministers make on my listing, and federal appointees, a message to you all. I waiting be a plan, and waiting I don't do. Today be a day, tomorrow can be another man. The 4 years we have, and 3 years to go. Remember 4 years we have, and 3 years to go. Premio, okay, no be 3 years to go. Why you say 2 years to go? Not be 3 years again. The only working day is 2 years. If you don't know, make it start to wait. They are getting too late. Naija Delta ministers make on a listing, and federal appointees, a message to you all. And waiting be a plan, and waiting not don't do. Today be a day, tomorrow will be another man. The 4 years we have, now 2 years to go. Remember 4 years we have, now 2 years to go. Now we don't see you now. I'm like a woman, but I'm not good luck for parents. Good luck, Calabara, for my own program. Over Brabant, as I said, over Brabant, I'm a pepper for my kiss me for my. Yes, they come and Toronto Douglas for my. Come over, bring it to me. Can you know? We are crap for my. Man, me from my head on the baby. Some man cannot walk by somewhere. I'm a bad baby. Me cannot be for a yaw. Man, he can hear you. And he asked me, needing the water up and making me where you're back more. Naija Delta ministers make on a listing, and federal appointees, a message to you all. your plan and waiting I don't do. Today be a day, tomorrow could be another man. The 4 years we have, now 2 years to go. Remember 4 years we have, now 2 years to go. Out!
Sada! I hear you. If you ever saw we ladder you, I'm in the fear, I'm in the fear. Bang, I'm in the fear, I'm in the fear. No, we didn't see ya. No, we didn't know I could have moved to that. You are your own, but I'm like a paragon, brother. Sister. Come on, why I bow? It's not more why I bow. Mother, what was my fan or what was the emo? But I'm not about and it's on my DMO. I'm going to take a column. Oh, it's not going to take a column. Naija Delta ministers make for my listing. And federal appointees, my message to you all. Waiting for your plan and waiting I don't do. Today be a day, tomorrow will be another man. In 4 years we have, now 2 years to go. Remember 4 years we have, now 2 years to go. The estimate will go back to Palabra, the estimate down my coin, you mean I don't know. Oh, will it buy? That's Mandela about. That's the day meal. Already. It's not my mambo to my party about it. I'm not going to do that. But I come back and I will be a bimo. So let go better say, come on. Can you buy me at me? Can you buy me at me? I put a quarter of that. I'm going to generate my house. I'm going to buy the bad machine. I keep a American Coco. I'm going to put it bad about Coco buy me to buy for me. Mama, I need about it. No matter how you can do it. Come on, come on, I got Coco. That's my name. I'm right. Move.
Sẹ́sìn ní ọ̀rẹ́ tí mo ní sẹ́yìn bẹ́ẹ̀ bá ní ìpamọ́ brada.
Àná ọmọ ni èyí. Mọ́tò wọ̀ kuru jùlọ dẹ̀ ẹ̀mẹ́ bùrà. Jọ̀njọ̀ wà rẹ̀ láàbẹ̀ kọ́ mọ̀ gbọ́ bá mi dín náà má bẹ̀ kẹ́ sáà sáà ní. Mo mú ní kọ́kọ́ mọ̀ bùrà kọ́ mi yà bẹ̀ kẹ́ pọ̀ kuru bá sáà bẹ̀ gbẹ́ni bá ti di yẹn. Sọ́dọ̀ àbàtì sẹ́tọ́ ẹ̀mí ẹ̀. Mo kọ́ àmọ́ bẹ̀ sọ́ọ́ láàyè kẹ́ bá ọ̀fẹ́rẹ́ mi nà. Ọbẹ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ bọ̀ ọ̀bẹ̀rẹ̀ láàrẹ̀ yẹ sọ́ọ́ láàrẹ̀ yẹ o. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ gbà gbogbo àwọn ìpínlẹ̀ gbà tó abẹ ìfúsá tèmi o. Ọ̀gá mi yẹ kí mi nà bá pẹ̀lẹ́ kọ́ńkọ́lọ́ kúrò mi nà bá. Bẹ̀rẹ̀ pẹ̀lẹ́ bá wà á bò ń sọ̀dọ̀ àkúrò àpẹrẹ mi. Bàbá bẹ̀rẹ̀ mọ̀ ń gbà àpẹrẹ mi. Tike kuliema, olùdókòwò ẹ̀kọ́ tike kuliema. Ẹ̀pà pọ̀. Tike kuliema. Àrùwárí mi yé. Tike kuliema, tijana tike kuliema. Apika, bima kuliema yibo baro kuliema. Àjọ ìdìbò ẹ̀pọ̀ náà ẹ̀ àti kíkúrú yẹn máa ẹ̀já ìjà àti kíkúrú yẹn máa. Ẹ tọ́nà ẹ̀pọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ni o, a ò tọ́nà o ẹ̀pọ̀ bẹ̀rẹ̀ sí ni o. Àti kíkúrú yẹn máa mọ̀ kọ́ àti kíkúrú yẹn máa o. Ṣèlú jọ́ Ẹgbẹ́ ọtí mi ní ti ike ṣìgbà mẹ́ni kàràkì ẹ̀rì. Ẹgbẹ́ ọtí ti ike ṣìgbà mẹ́ni kàràkì ooo. Àní ẹni bíra ẹ. Ẹgbẹ́ ọtí mi ti ikọ̀ amúni kàràkì o. Ìbá gbá àtúmẹ̀ fi ké gbà ṣíṣe kàràkì ooo.
Sẹ́sìn ní ẹgbẹ́ mi ní abẹ́rẹ́ sí ẹ̀mẹ́ bẹ́ẹ̀.
Àní bíra ẹ.
Sàfàrà ẹgbẹ́ mi ní abẹ́rẹ́ sí ẹ̀mẹ́ náà. Lẹ́yìn àgbẹ̀kọ̀rẹ́ mi ní ẹgbẹ́ mi bẹ́ẹ̀ sọ́nù o. Láti mi ní ẹsẹ̀ ìjọba bẹ́ẹ̀ bẹ́ẹ̀ kọ́ra fi o. Láti mi ní ẹsẹ̀ ìjọba bẹ́ẹ̀ ní ìpamọ́ brada.
Àní bíra ẹ.
One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had...
Good morning and welcome to Naija Live TV. Here are the top stories. Governor Diri receives 23rd Chief of Air Staff in Yenagoa. Attorney General of the Federation takes over prosecution of Malami's son over terrorism charges. Inspector General of Police inaugurates committee on establishment of state police. UN Refugee Agency reports mass displacement following escalating Middle East violence. Thank you for staying with us. I am Barbie Mparu. Here are the main stories making the headlines. Bayelsa State's Governor Doye Diri received the 23rd Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sunday Kevin Aneke, at the Government House here in Yenagoa, marking a significant homecoming for the military chief. Air Marshal Aneke, who served in the state as the air officer commanding AOC Mobility Command, prior to his current appointment, was elevated to the position by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. Governor Diri congratulated the Air Marshal on his role, noting that Bayelsa continues to be a fertile ground for senior military officers who serve with integrity. The governor emphasized that the relationship between the state and the Nigerian Air Force remains exceptionally cordial, citing the military's immense contribution to peace and security enjoyed across the state. Governor Diri remarked that the Air Marshal's promotion is a testament to his dedication, service, and synergy with the people of Bayelsa during his previous posting, and expressed pride that officers who serve the state with faithfully and frequently rewarded with higher national responsibilities, stating that good service leads to more service. Bayelsa State's Governor, His Excellency Senator Doye Diri, has urged women across the Niger Delta to participate fully in politics, stressing that they should not be seen as second-class citizens. Governor Diri made the call while attending the Pan-Niger Delta Forum Pandef Women Conference in Yenagoa, emphasizing that special seats in the National Assembly or other elective positions should not only be temporary solutions and a permanent measure that reinforces inequality. He highlighted the success of women in countries like Britain and the United States, noting that their political systems do not rely on special seats, and urged Nigerian women to demand total emancipation and equality in governance. Governor Diri also recounted his efforts to integrate more women into the Bayelsa State's governance, noting progress in the state, Executive Council, and House of Assembly, while acknowledging challenges faced in achieving fuller responsibility and representation. Pandef National Woman Leader, Reverend Mrs. Grace Ekong, called on women to acquire education, skills, and experience to actively participate in politics and contribute to regional development. The conference was attended by the former First Lady of Nigeria, Dr. Patience Jonathan, the Rivers State Deputy Governor, Professor Ngozi Odu, and the Pandef National Chairman, Ambassador Dr. Godnose Bolede Igali, and representatives from the women groups across the Niger Delta. Senator Henry Seriake Dixon has presented his annual educational grant to 136 Bayelsa State students of the Nigerian Law School for the year 2025. He congratulated the beneficiaries and urged them to take their studies and future professional responsibilities seriously, stressing the need for diligence, self-development, and meaningful contribution to national growth, service to humanity, and devotion to God. The former governor of Bayelsa State noted that the grant program has been sustained since his departure from office. The senator described the law school grant as a modest effort to support students and their families while providing an opportunity to engage, guide, and encourage them, wishing the beneficiaries success in their exams and academic pursuits as well as professional careers. The Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, assumed control of the protection and prosecution of a former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, and his son, Abdulaziz, over alleged terrorism-related offenses and unlawful possession of firearms. The development emerged on Wednesday at the Federal High Court in Abuja when the Director of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, Rotimi Oyedepo, SAN, informed the court that the case filed has been transmitted from the Department of State Security Service to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Newly sworn-in Inspector of Police Tunji Desu has inaugurated a committee to examine the establishment of state police as part of ongoing efforts to reform Nigeria's policing structure. The development follows renewed calls for decentralized policing by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who recently urged the leadership of the 10th Nigerian Senate to initiate constitutional amendments to enable the creation of state police. The president made the appeal during a breaking of fast with lawmakers at the presidential Villa Abuja, noting that decentralized policing would strengthen grassroots security and improve the speed of response to emerging threats within the states. Speaking at the inauguration, the police chief said the committee would examine the framework for state policing as part of a broader efforts to strengthen Nigeria's internal security architecture and enhance community-based policing. A coalition of civil society organizations has outlined fresh conditions for the federal government before oil exploration can assume and resume in Ogoniland, Rivers State, Nigeria. The group is demanding the formal recognition of the Ogoni Bill of Rights, full implementation, and recommendations contained in the UNEP environmental assessment of Ogoniland, and the exoneration of late environmental activist Ken Sarowiwa and 8 other Ogoni leaders previously convicted of murder. The demands were presented during a one-day community-led workshop and solidarity piece work on the planned resumption of oil production in Ogoni, tagged Project Ogonize. The event was organized by Tech for Rural in collaboration with the Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center and held in Port Harcourt, Rivers State, Nigeria. Participants at the gathering stressed that addressing environmental concerns and historical grievances remained essential to achieving sustainable peace and responsible oil operations in the region. And on the international scene, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees says escalating violence across the Middle East and other affected regions has triggered significant population displacement. The agency reports that an estimated of 100,000 people left Tehran within the first 2 days following the attacks. In Lebanon, the agency says 58,000 people are currently sheltering in collective sites. In Syria, nearly 10,000 Syrians and close to 1,000 Lebanese crossed the Lebanon on the 2nd of March, almost 3 times the usual daily average. Still on the international scene, United States Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum has met with Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, in Caracas as part of the USA's push to expand cooperation and oil and mineral production. The meeting concluded with an announcement that Rodriguez will soon submit a proposal to reform Venezuela's mining laws to the national legislature, a move aimed at attracting investment and modernizing the sector. Burgum also expressed optimism that economic relations between the United States and Venezuela will continue to deepen. And on entertainment, social media personality Pella has announced plans for a tour across the nation in a creative presentation inspired by the song Hausa Piano by King Vinci featuring Zerijel. In the announcement, the online streamer used the concept to highlight the diversity of Nigeria's major cultures, emphasizing the importance of harnessing cultural differences for collective national progress. The presentation blended entertainment with a message of unity, showcasing elements of the country's cultural heritage while unveiling details of the planned tour. And that concludes the news at this hour on Naija Live Television. I am Barbie Mparu. Do well to stay with us to stay updated. Good morning.
One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria. One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria. One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it will be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop, but we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria.
Igali, and representatives from the women groups across the Niger Delta. Senator Henry Seriake Dixon has presented his annual educational grant to 136 Bayelsa State students of the Nigerian Law School for the year 2025. He congratulated the beneficiaries and urged them to take their studies and future professional responsibilities seriously, stressing the need for diligence, self-development, and meaningful contribution to national growth, service to humanity, and devotion to God. The former governor of Bayelsa State noted that the grant program has been sustained since his departure from office. The senator described the law school grant as a modest effort to support students and their families while providing an opportunity to engage, guide, and encourage them, wishing the beneficiaries success in their exams and academic pursuits as well as professional careers. The Attorney General of the Federation, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN, assumed control of the protection and prosecution of a former Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, SAN, and his son, Abdulaziz, over alleged terrorism-related offenses and unlawful possession of firearms. The development emerged on Wednesday at the Federal High Court in Abuja when the Director of Public Prosecutions of the Federation, Rotimi Oyedepo, SAN, informed the court that the case filed has been transmitted from the Department of State Security Service to the Office of the Attorney General of the Federation. Newly sworn-in Inspector of Police Tunji Desu has inaugurated a committee to examine the establishment of state police as part of ongoing efforts to reform Nigeria's policing structure. The development follows renewed calls for decentralized policing by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who recently urged the leadership of the 10th Nigerian Senate to initiate constitutional amendments to enable the creation of state police. The police chief said the committee would examine the framework for state policing as part of a broader efforts to strengthen Nigeria's internal security architecture and enhance community-based policing. A coalition of civil society organizations has outlined fresh conditions for the federal government before oil exploration can assume and resume in Ogoniland, Rivers State, Nigeria. The group is demanding the former recognition of the Ogoni Bill of Rights, full implementation, and recommendations contained in the UNEP environmental assessment of Ogoniland, and the exoneration of late environmental activist Ken Sarowiwa and 8 other Ogoni leaders previously convicted of murder. The demands were presented during a one-day community-led workshop and solidarity piecework on the planned resumption of oil production in Ogoni, tagged Project Ogonize. The event was organized by Tech for Rural in collaboration with the Youth and Environmental Advocacy Center and held in Port Harcourt, River State, Nigeria. Participants at the gathering stressed that addressing environmental concerns and historical grievances remained essential to achieving sustainable peace and responsible oil operations in the region. And on the international scene, the United Nations High Commissioner for Refugees says escalating violence across the Middle East and other affected regions has triggered significant population displacement. The agency reports that an estimated of 100,000 people left Tehran within the first 2 days following the attacks. In Lebanon, the agency says 58,000 people are currently sheltering in collective sites. In Syria, nearly 10,000 Syrians and close to 1,000 Lebanese crossed the Lebanon on 2nd of March, almost 3 times the usual daily average. Still on the international scene, United States Secretary of the Interior Doug Burgum has met with Venezuela's interim president, Delcy Rodriguez, in Caracas as part of the USA's push to expand cooperation and oil and mineral production. The meeting concluded with an announcement that Rodriguez will soon submit a proposal to reform Venezuela's mining laws to the national legislature, a move aimed at attracting investment and modernizing the sector. Burgum also expressed optimism that economic relations between the United States and Venezuela will continue to deepen. And on entertainment, social media personality Pella has announced plans for a tour across the nation in a creative presentation inspired by the song Hausa Piano by King Vinci featuring Zerijel. In the announcement, the online streamer used the concept to highlight the diversity of Nigeria's major cultures, emphasizing the importance of harnessing cultural differences for collective national progress. The presentation blended entertainment with a message of unity, showcasing elements of the country's cultural heritage while unveiling details of the planned tour. And that concludes the news at this hour on Naija Live Television. I am Barbie Mparu. Do well to stay with us to stay updated. Good morning.
One of the problems we have in Nigeria is that it's difficult to have solid metals for creative engineering. So what you basically have in this country are tubes for building of houses and erection of structures and all that. But when you come to real metals that you can carve to engine block, metal that you can carve to a shaft or gear, there is nowhere to get in this country. So a country that does not have a shop for metals to cut can never develop. If we had shops where you can go and buy all kinds of grades of metals, it would be easier for the young to get the metals and come to a place like us, and then we will carve it for them, cut, bend, and then do all that. This country will develop. But we don't have. We have to look at China or any of those countries to bring those things to us. So that is the story of Nigeria.
there is this time.
My shift is always long, but I still find things that make my day a bit easy. Like customers who make up their mind fast.
Excuse me.
Yes, ma'am. And the ones who tip. Of course, the ones who tip me well. But the best thing is this Kuda POS. It takes transfers, cards, and even has a pay with Kuda option with instant settlement. I get the alert quickly, my manager gets the alert, even the customer can see the alert. Oh, she has already left. No delay for anybody, no stress for me.
Hello guys, welcome to Chat with Naija Live TV. And on this podcast we talk about so many things: entertainment, politics,
what have you.
So today I'm your host, the Ayo of Yentown, the guy where they give the Enegwa joy. So, and I'm not here alone. I'm here with the finest guy on the studio, or in the studio rather. I'm here with Mr. Henry.
Well, that is still disputable. I would not take that appellation. Whatever you're saying, that catchphrase is not for me. So there's already somebody like that.
So today I'm feeling happy. I don't know why I'm happy. Maybe because it's almost the end of the month.
Clearly.
But I'm happy.
At the end of the month signals payday now. So
yes. So today, before I introduce the guest we have today, I want to introduce the topic to you guys so that you understand why this guest is here with us in the studio. So the topic we have today is the development stride of the prosperity government. And this person that is here with us in the studio is somebody that has projected the government in a very positive way. So that is why we have to bring him down here, so that he can tell us at least few things about the projects of the government and things that they are about to do, at least before their time runs out, the prosperity government. So we are here with no other person than the leader of the Go and Verify team, which is Apostle Alfred Odion Oyinosa.
Good to have you, sir. Welcome.
Welcome, sir. Welcome, sir.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming, sir.
Thank you.
So, sir, before we talk about the prosperity government or the development of the prosperity government, we would like you to tell us or explain to us the Go and Verify. How did it come about?
Yes, my people, I go to talk as should be.
Yes, sir.
So that when mama will there for Swale and a book and go to hear the language.
Yes.
Today, Team Go and Verify, changing the negative narrative, not start from Bayelsa State.
Okay.
There those states, and the team projects the good works of the former governor of Edo State, His Excellency Godwin Obaseki, and we enter the system because we don't see the better thing when they do.
Okay.
And people they talk say this man don't do anything. Me and a pastor at the church. My church there close to Uniben. I could say, if me they talk about good things, and they preach heal our land, and they pray, they scatter demonic altar, they pray against politicians. Because say you don't pray, but you they see the things what they do. And you they allow these people to they spoil the system. Oh yeah, go talk about waiting them they want.
Okay.
For good. Now we take start with Edo State. And by God's grace, we make the whole world see waiting the past government do. Even when they say they're not, shut up in mind, they go and verify. Now, midday, and not be here. By God's grace, come move on until they come regulation. But one thing we can't add the motion join them. And this one of the things I'll tell some persons later. See, anything we did do, remove emotion, focus on the objective. Yeah. So that either way, if things not work, you not go put yourself under tight pressure. So, we won't reach Bayelsa State, and last year, the same narrative I said, Governor, do you know they do anything? Say, but for my state, I do this thing for my governor. We turn the whole world. They don't say this is my work. I said, okay, our work is voluntary. We know they put money forward. We they talk about the work. As it be, if you appreciate that, no while. If you don't appreciate, now you know. But we go talk about the work. But meanwhile, Team Go and Verify is registered.
Okay.
We CAC, so not be pushed aside one media. No. Fully registered trademark.
Okay.
Because in a national brand, it's not delimited to one particular state.
Okay.
All over the world. Once you see anything good we talk about, what they do, we'll talk about that.
Okay. So as Team Go and Verify enter the states, when I don't check stories them and when I don't check the projects them way they, and would you say that these projects are things that are verifiable and that they are laudable?
Yes, if those projects not they verifiable, we're not going to say go verify. Now because say the project did there with the sham and they beneficiary to the people and we they see the money where government they spend. That's what we say, go and verify. By the time you go, you don't see anything, come follow us fight or you beat us.
Okay, but sir, no vessel.
Go ahead.
Because this your team Go and Verify now. I be fan. I dey follow on a page well, so I dey check things from
new updates.
Yeah, updates. But I dey always see the posts now about wetin the government don do.
Yes.
If maybe government don say they wan do like this, una go confirm say like this. Yes. But e don ever get any time where una hear say government wan do like this, but when una go, that project no dey.
We never see am. Everything wey government don talk say wan do, we dey go verify am.
Okay.
E go dey there.
Okay.
If e no dey, I can't tell you, I no fit come tell you say wetin no dey e dey.
Okay.
Na wetin we see, na we dey talk as e be.
Okay.
So far so good. All the work wey government say they wan start, we don see am. The one wey they never start, we know say they never start. E dey. And one we go dey wait. The day we dey wan start, we will go there to go say, hey, governor say una don start, okay, una don start am, we go talk am.
Okay.
For as long as they never start, we go dey look until they start am.
Okay, so far, how long, how well you think say this government don do since una start to verify?
If you ask me, I go tell you say this governor, my governor, I don't know the party, me I call him my governor. And that's why,
governor now.
That's why I call him the Bishop of Prosperity. And I may give him that name.
Okay.
Why? Because of the things when I see for granted. Not be say ESA. We believe in IMAC. Not be IMAC. And I can tell you, say this governor, my governor, now one of the best governors with all this state.
Okay.
Okay. May you mention some of the projects where
we don't say, oh my brother, project too plenty.
Okay.
Project too plenty. When we first come, we see this at Giama Oporoma Bridge. We say, that can't you know they exist. Now we trace time. We not ask question. We not go Ministry of Work to say, hey, okay, we drive, go there. We go trace the forest. We see the project. Now we talk about the Oporoma and Giama Bridge. Now ask question. Now state have been a federal because we ask question. See now state. You mean say this one a state? They do this 600-kilometer bridge? How? For inside river, we get our evidence. Then we still carry waka go nebe bras. We can't ask questions. They say go be they do nebe bras. Now I won't be that. We will go see am. Not be waiting and talk. We waka go there, brother. When we see work where they go on for nebe, now say this man not be another person. Then we can't ask question. Wetin dey happen for this area? They say one man fair talk say the road not the economic viable. If they do them, I got a demand increase. Now be human being they decide. And that work has made it talk so it they go on massively. Well, and for the benefit of the people. Because if the governor come out, the road still there. You could see them. And a human being go pass them, no be spirit.
Okay. So you say when I be done do for Obaseki,
yes,
in Benin.
Yes.
So doesn't if una just come the state or na somebody tell una to come or na the state government invite una come
here?
Yes.
No.
We can just say una just
now
come.
we come here.
Okay.
As we reach here, we come sit down and say, we dey hear noise. Say, the man no dey walk. Now we go say, but the man dey walk. And we do this thing for Baseki. As the rig election, all of us converse, come on, say, we don't agree, do go and fight for the state. We reach here, we see what the man they do. Now we write to government, say, government, see who we be, we volunteer to come talk about the work we they do. We don't want money, but one just talk about what you did this. Okay, and I would know. Now we begin to talk about the work.
Okay, well now before this go and verify for Bayelsa State,
yes.
You had to reach out to the governor first.
As we reach here, we know the break protocol.
Okay.
You go first seek audience with the authority first. You go introduce yourself. We introduce ourselves. Say, see who we be.
Okay.
See our profile. See what we don't do before for so governor. Now the same thing we want to do for that voluntarily. We not say money put us for monthly salary, but give us chance. What we talk about now.
I believe say within many Bayelsans go on here now to know whether, if for instance, when I hear say government they do one particular project, when I can't decide to visit the place, can't find out say that project, then they really they do more. When I go still tell Bayels and say no, this one where they say they do that lie. My co-host we don't ask before say when I don't see anywhere, I never see. But if that kind of thing happen for future, when I go tell Bayels, more know than a Bayels not deserve, I mean at the government not deserve.
We go talk. You understand?
Say the government or this thing or where they talk or they never.
We read them, we never see them.
Okay.
Now evidence. Now what we see, we they talk about. Not be say what I don't see, we'll consider it happen. How? So not be verified with that.
But wait, if you not see, now there the end.
No, we dey follow them up.
Because you know say you go first see sometimes, but waiting you see no they satisfactory. They fit tell you say this is what we are doing, this is the capacity of what we are doing, you know. But you can't go there because say the thing no reach the level of waiting they don't talk. And then they get that kind of experience.
Yes, and when they reach out to the authorities, we go say, okay, what you will observe for this place, it not make sense. So.
You get any project like that one that observe? Can reach out to authorities?
One or two areas.
Will I mention some?
When we reach Akaba or Kodi, because say the work is slow. Now come minister, we observe say this work is slow. Say,
Commissioner.
Yes. So don't worry. We don't call the contractor to order, make it do it own. He go do unwise of us to come media. To come say, Bayelsa, we reach one area, nobody this side. Then you are stupid. You don't know what you do.
But when you reach area, somebody decide you they come contact Bayelsa and say somebody decide. Why you can't reach a time where you say you know see somebody side, you don't want to tell media?
Because I don't know why they know decide. I must find out why they know decide.
But if you find that finish, you know go like still come media tell them say as you find out to see waiting commissioner tell you some reason we make you know decide.
Waiting the people need to hear now say the work they go on. Every other waiting happen for grant, it not concern them. You know, they want to say work they go on. And our duty to tell people say work they go on. And if work no they go on, we come from outside, we'll come ask question. Why XYZ not they happen? You understand? Because okay, now so it been all right, we don't hear. We go come back again to come make sure say on this side. And I believe saying that so we take they operate. People will also talk about negative thing, that one at their own part, to come go to shout, we don't see anybody from side to that one at their own area. Our own, now to talk with we see, and if one or two day we will not like, we go draw the attention of authorities, say, this thing, get kill Lego, wanna look at.
Okay. You mentioned Akaba or Kodi Road. Get any other road or project one that you don't see, you know, really dissatisfactory. But then
apart from that one, every other project, I can tell you for free, all the contractor they try. I can tell you for free. All the contractor, they try. Therefore, Akaba, I can't ask question again. Why they delay? Say because of the terrain. You know, say Bayelsa an aquatic land. It not be like a door data. Now this thing I will need to know. I go say, why the? I go say, okay, now aquatic land. How do they do filling before you do flood don't come? How do they do embankment before they don't collapse? Now they go leave them. Make it stabilize. In that process of stabilization, if it take like 1 month, if it take like 2 months, ordinary buyers are not going to know. You go say, nobody there, nothing they happen. But you don't know, say that process, they do stabilization, make the thing feel settled, so that the feel work pass.
Okay. As you don't mention the Akaba Kodi Road, now which level is they?
As many they talk to my brother, the bridge, they almost finish.
Bridge ready for where?
Yeah, where the Akaba? Yes, sir.
They're still there for Akaba.
Across Swally side.
Yeah, my brother, not be joking.
Okay.
They don't almost finish the bridge. Oh. Then the main road where they go Ogbia, they don't almost finish them. I think they talk so.
Okay.
They don't almost finish them. But if you don't go, you don't go no.
What do you just say remain? Now the road where they go up there, now the bridges of them remain.
Wait till remain now. Now just from the Akaba, the other side, where they want feet to the bridge, they begin to push, do soil smith stabilization, put the stone base, then they do artifacts. Now remain.
I believe that one now before this year finish.
Before December they don't finish that work. You
So
know we put it.
you speak very confidently. You don't hear from commissioner.
Because I don't ask question. Because I
don't
dey go
verify
site, I dey verify. Not be say one person from office tell me. I
Okay.
don't go. I don't ask question.
So you say this on a work now, come.
Now voluntary work with the
Yeah, voluntary work.
Yes.
But so far so good. Where una don start, even the government self, I believe say they go down see say this team they try to project us. They don't ever appreciate una.
Appreciation come in different form. I thank you for the work we did do. We dey pleased with that one. To say we dey see the work. Thank you. God bless you.
So
we dey pleased with that one.
You fit tell us how they don't use support on her.
Not be that one support to the talk now. We support to the talk about the project we government don't do.
Or
Where they
everything
benefit the
no,
people.
everything are the same thing because
No.
una no go fit dey do
No.
this kind of work.
Okay.
Why the federal government sef know say una dey do this kind of work and they no go support una. That means to say the people of Bayelsa we are ungrateful now.
No, we're not doing ungrateful. But let me tell you, there's what they call a place of selfless service and sacrifice. You don't eat your future immediately.
Okay.
You sow a seed for the future. You need to pay the sacrifice. You go project in the next 6-7 months how I go fit take survive this war.
So what they talk now be say since now voluntary government no dey support una any.
They
way.
encourage us. No.
The encouragement na word of mouth. I be sometimes they tell una say I see you do like this. So
I tell us okay, buy fuel for motor. We do okay.
So they buy fuel for the motor sometimes.
Once in a while, and we dey very okay with them. You understand? Because not be money carry us come first. Because if we focus on the money, we no go do the work well. That time we'll begin to compromise.
But since you know say this government of 18, they still get opposition party. So I want ask, since we una don dey do this work with una whole heart, you don't get any way or any form way the opposition party don come meet una say make una stop this thing because the thing dey spoil our own side.
E no dey.
Okay, nobody don.
E no dey.
Okay.
You know why? Because na only which go see better thing go wan fight am, and nobody go fit take over your space. As a media man, your niche na your niche. So why you call it fear?
Let's get into the conversation proper now. All right. So the first things they want to be doing in a come now. The gas turbine. I think that's one project that many persons got to know you through us through that. But una been first of all talk as already been talk. His Excellency already been talk say na December.
Yes.
Now they go take finish the project. Una still talk like that. Say yes, so now we don't talk.
Yes.
Now even they show update even when the gas turbine come now. Now pictures when they show that one pass. We no see gas turbine. We come the hear stories again. Say February 14. That's when the gas turbine will.
So now
but
no be governor tell you now.
We hear just hear stories. Any kind of stories we hear.
But no be governor talk am.
We hear say governor talk am, but we no hear from governor.
But December own self na him talk now.
But na him talk December.
No, we agree. So he talk for December. But make I tell me, I cut you short, my brother. I know where you dey go.
Okay.
I know where you dey go. Who no go no know. Most of these materials not be for backyard for the pickup, or they want to go pick up for Port Harcourt. Most of the turbine be from this country, not from Turkey. The large batch we supposed come in, no come on time because wahala dey wharf. Of course, not be state government dey control wharf.
Wahala still dey wharf as we dey talk now.
Even with the wahala wey still dey, governor come need to mount pressure to say, Mr. President, my people dey my neck. I don't promise my people. I want this much, make them release am. As many they talk so, they don't release everything.
Okay, so the thing don't reach Bayelsa now.
My brother,
they in the Goa.
They don't install everything. Waiting even remain now. You know, say most time, who no go, no know. Now when you go ask question. You just be like motor now. You just see this motor fine. But you don't know see that motor no go work without brain boss.
if you go fit give assessment of time when that thing fit dey ready based on the way they relate with people wey dey do that thing, the way they relate with them.
Wait, wetin me I don see with the work wey dey ground in the next few weeks.
Like 3 weeks.
No, I say next few weeks. It can be a month time. Okay. It can be March ending.
Okay.
With wetin me don see for ground.
You get one time where una been talk say una no wan dey cover anything wey concern.
We say we wan suspend. Suspend no mean say we wan stop.
Because una come start again. Yes. Just like 2 days una come start again.
Yes, because we not come dey happy. Why we not dey happy? Una promise the people say December, and we can't put our mind in December. No, we information we define we no share. We want to really know so that we fit tell our people say see wetin dey. Me I no get that kind of information.
But what do you think about this thing when governor go make the pronouncement based on wetin people don't tell am, wetin im people don't tell am? E reach the time wey we say that pronouncement e suppose come to effect, e no come.
No reach our hand.
1 month later, e no come. 2 months later, e no come. What do you think? What do you think about that?
There are delays. As I said just now, most of those things na technical
but these delays, people go fit foresee am. No say delays fit happen. Yeah. So let's give it a 2-year timeline, a 3-year timeline. You don't think say maybe they carry the team play politics at first?
No. Now I fit project something. Me we there now. I project yesterday say see my motto. I want to rebrand am this morning. I already project. Only for me to carry motor come out with the motor spoil. As many talks now, I want to make the mechanic workshop. But we don't plan say today. I don't project. Say today, now I want to rebrand, go and verify motor. Only for me to come out, motor spoil. Motor stay for mechanic. I don't plan for them, but I don't already project. Now so like there are some people say you go plan, this go happen. But all these engineers, they get the plan. They already forecast. Say so time. They go meet with the target. But all for saying things we they not plan for, they can't come on board. Some people get accident. But no, not everything go there media. Some people get accident. Somebody fall from pole. Wherein they fall.
As they do
as they do this.
Yes, for express. But no go know.
Which day be that now? Now this kind of things una go talk so that people go share emotions on the face.
Now, when that thing happen, me myself, I shed tears. The guy, this people not make this.
People where they fix the gas to burn.
People where they do the high tension. It fall.
Rain they fall. Something shock am.
Nothing. That's the ladder. Shift.
Wait, you know where all those they are protecting gear?
Everything day. See, my brother, you go always pray. Say the day where road one drink blood, make it up in your head. Whether you tie seat belt for motor, what you want happen will happen. We always pray. That's the reason why we they tell buyers and people. Una too dey negative. Sorry to say, based on my own observation, the negativity for the state, bless you, na they enjoy.
But you go blame them.
No, I go blame them. You know why?
Why now?
You know why I go blame them? Because they feel say, past government don't do this thing. No, may I tell you, every reasonable person come from family, and this state belongs to every one of us. And if you they use your maths, they spoil your state. Who get brain? Who get money? One can invest, agree come because you don't talk as your state they bad.
You know, say in one way, self, you know, go still blame the state because now the government don't say, okay, we go bring lights.
But I don't tell you what thing
I know, and they come.
But you no go know.
I know. Now you say we no go know because other things they happen for back.
So
you know, feel say they wise for the government to come to us say, see, I beg, like as you talk now, somebody fall now for pole die. Yeah. Instead of we maybe they anxious.
But we know say the person fall. Maybe one critical engineer.
Make we say they come say, see, something happen because of this light.
And you never tell us when that thing happens. When it happen,
the lights now our own, so we suppose know.
No.
Not be when you don't bring light. Now that time you go say you bring light, but you not tell us what happen for back. We go complain now.
Most time, you don't marry.
About to.
You don't marry.
About to.
So you don't go understand.
By God's grace.
Waiting I want talk.
Okay.
By God's grace, me I don't marry. I get 4 children. My first son is in university.